Adventure mindset in a digital world. Why action, not knowledge, changes everything. Hi, I'm Kamilla. I'm an adventure mindset and positive intelligence coach. And this class is for you if life looks good enough on paper, but something inside you feels flat, stuck, or numb. Maybe you have a solid career, a home that makes sense, people you care about. Yet there is a quiet voice that says, is this it? Is this really all there is for me now? Most people I work with do not need more information. They have read the books, saved the inspiring reels, listened to the podcast. The gap is not knowledge. The gap is action in the real world. Today, I want to show you how an adventure mindset together with positive intelligence can help you move from stuck and overthinking to feeling brave, alive and in motion again. And why action, not confidence, changes everything. For many years, I was in a long-term relationship. We created a life that we loved, a life filled with travel and adventure. We built a home that suited us in England, and from there we explored the world together. Over the years, I traveled to more than 75 countries. I went skydiving, scuba diving, zip lining. I jumped off bridges attached to a rope, skied off-piste, went canyoning, potholing, co-steering. I mountain biked and downhill biked. I said yes to so many wild and wonderful things. It was an incredible chapter of my life, and I want to say this very clearly. My previous life was awesome. It shaped me. It gave me courage. It built the self-belief that I can handle a lot more than my mind sometimes tells me. And then, over time, a quiet question began to grow. Not because the life was bad, but because I had changed. And the question was, is this still my full yes? Or am I staying because it's familiar? What scared me was to hurt my partner, but it was also of the possibility to regret a decision that would have far-reaching implications and consequences. Leaving meant going from the known and familiar into completely uncharted territory. A new country, a new life, a new identity. In the end, I realized that all those years of adventure had already trained me to handle the unknown. I knew deep down that I could rebuild, so I chose to trust that. I ended a 23-year relationship and stepped into the unknown with no guarantees. It became the doorway to rebuilding myself as an even more self-reliant, self-confident and adventurous woman than I had been before. And along the way, through my own inner work and positive intelligence, I gained a much deeper understanding of my mind, my patterns, and how our thoughts shape our relationships, our performance, and our happiness. Today, I help midlife professionals navigate their own crossroads so they can move from fine to fully alive in a way that honors who they have been and who they are becoming. In this masterclass, you will discover what an adventure mindset really looks like in midlife, why your brain often fights adventure through the lens of positive intelligence, why action comes before confidence and not the other way around, and how a simple digital detox can be your first stepping stone from screen-bound and stuck to grounded and wildly alive. So what is an adventure mindset? When I say adventure, many people think skydiving, extreme sports, or quitting their job to travel the world. That can certainly be adventure, but that is not what I mean here. For the people I work with, an adventure mindset is simpler and more sustainable. An adventure mindset means you choose curiosity over certainty. You choose progress over perfection. And you choose real-life experiences over staying safely in your head. You still care deeply about your responsibilities, your family, your work, your home. But you stop living like a jellyfish, drifting wherever the current of life and social media carries you. Instead, you become the salmon. You choose your direction. You are willing to swim upstream when it matters because something meaningful is calling you. Most of my clients used to be adventurous. They traveled, they tried new things, they loved the outdoors, and then adult life happened. Career, children, caring for others, and exhaustion. And slowly that adventurous version of themselves got packed away in a box on the top shelf. Adventure mindset is about bringing that part of you back into the center of your life in a way that fits who you are now. And this is where action, not knowledge, really comes in. Adventure mindset is not about consuming more inspiring content. It is about turning what you already know into lived experience. Less, I know this already, and more, I actually did this. To understand why that feels so hard, we need to look at what is happening in your mind. Positive intelligence, saboteurs, and sage. Positive intelligence is a framework that explains why we get in our own way even when we truly want change. I had already done a lot of big external adventures. Positive intelligence helped me understand the inner adventures, the ones inside my own mind. It gave me language and tools to see how my thoughts and saboteurs influenced my decisions, my relationships, and my happiness. In simple terms, you have two inner teams, your saboteurs and your sage. Your saboteurs are the inner critics, the fear and old survival strategies that keep you stuck. Your sage is your wise, curious, intuitive self. The part of you that loves learning, exploring, and yes, adventure. For many high-achieving midlifers, 3 saboteurs are especially loud. The judge is the universal ringleader. The judge says you should be grateful. Other people have it worse. Who do you think you are to want more than your life when your life is already good? The hyperachiever says you do not have time for adventure. There is too much to do. Once you have achieved this next thing, you can relax, travel, and explore. But of course, then keeps moving and seems to never materialize. The pleaser whispers, if you put yourself first, you will disappoint people. Do not rock the boat. They might not like you. Keep everyone else happy first. These saboteurs are not evil. They were just trying to keep you safe. But they dislike adventure because adventure involves uncertainty, risk, and growth. Your sage, on the other hand, loves adventure. Your sage is the part of you that lights up on a mountain, on a solo walk, or when you say yes to something that stretches you. Now, here is the important link between action and knowledge. Your saboteurs love knowledge without action. They are completely happy for you to binge self-help as long as you do not change your behavior. Your sage is the part of you that says, enough learning for today. Let us go out and live it. Every time you choose saboteur thinking, you reinforce old pathways. every time you choose a sage-led action, even a tiny one, you start to rewire your brain. You cannot think your way into a new identity. You have to live your way into it. And that brings us to one of my favorite truths. Action precedes confidence. We are often told, when you feel confident, then you will take the leap. In my experience and with my clients, it almost always works the other way around. Confidence does not come from what you know about courage. It comes from the moments when you do the thing while your heart is racing. Your mind is full of what ifs and your saboteurs are screaming. And afterwards you realize, I did it. I survived. Maybe I am braver than I thought. After I left my relationship, I had to rebuild myself. Not as someone's partner, but as me. One of the ways I did that was saying yes to an opportunity to go to South Africa and Botswana and participate in a bit of an expedition. It sounded exciting. It also felt intimidating. I did not see myself as a particularly confident driver, never mind driving a big 4x4 through rough terrain with wild animals around. Now, I have to admit that I got a little bit of help before I went on this journey. I consulted a friend who works as a hypnotherapist, and she did a hypnosis session with me. She somehow unblocked whatever was holding me back from feeling confident about me driving. But of course, I didn't know whether it had worked until I was already in South Africa. And it was when I was told that you are going to be the driver, you are going to drive the car on your own for 2 weeks and act as the support vehicle. And I just said, yeah, without batting an eyelid. It was amazing. My saboteurs were loud back then. They were saying, who do you think you are? What if you mess this up? You are not good enough at this. If I had waited to feel like a confident, capable off-road driver, I would still be standing next to that Jeep. Instead, I treated it as a living laboratory for this principle. Action precedes confidence. The first time I drove, my heart was racing a bit. My hands were a bit shaky and my mind full of doubt. It did not feel confident. It felt courageous. But afterwards, my nervous system realized, we did it. We handled this. My brain filed a new piece of evidence. Maybe I'm more capable than I believe. And the next day, it felt a bit easier. A week later, I was no longer overthinking and I was simply driving. That lesson in South Africa was a powerful piece of the journey to building myself back up as a woman who can rely on herself again. Cold water swimming is another beautiful example. People often say to me, "You are so brave, I could never do that." The truth is, the first time I stepped into icy water, every cell in my body was screaming, "Get out!" My saboteurs told me it was too much, too extreme, too uncomfortable. Confidence did not show up at first. It was very much in-out. I decided to keep going and to stay a few more seconds next time. Then I did it again and again. Each plunge was another reminder that I can choose discomfort on purpose and come out stronger. Now, that cold water is one of my greatest sources of strength and mental clarity. For my clients, action precedes confidence often looks more everyday. Having a difficult conversation instead of avoiding it. Going for a solo walk without a podcast. booking a weekend away on their own, signing up for a course they secretly long for. The first step nearly always feels wobbly, but once they have done it, it stops being a huge, terrifying monster in their mind. From a positive intelligence view, every small, courageous action fires your sage circuits. You stop just knowing what is possible, and you start believing it because you have lived it. This is where our digital world can either support you or completely sabotage you. Digital detox as a stepping stone. Let us talk about your phone and your screens. They are incredible tools. They let us work, connect, and learn. They also make it very easy to avoid our own life. Instead of feeling our emotions, we scroll. Instead of taking a small action, we research. Instead of going for a walk, we watch someone else walking on Instagram. We are drowning in information and starving for experience. Our screens keep feeding us knowledge, but our bodies are craving real-world moments that say, I was there, I felt that, I did this. From a positive intelligence perspective, your saboteurs love these patterns. The judge gets endless comparison material to use against you. The hyperachiever gets to pretend to be productive while actually procrastinating. The pleaser stays busy answering everyone else instead of listening to their own needs. So when I talk about digital detox, I do not mean never touching a phone again. I mean using it consciously instead of letting it use you. I like to call this screen off, adventure on. Maybe it should be social media off, adventure on. Here is a simple 3-step practice you can start this week. Step 1. 1 phone-free hour outside each week. Choose 1 hour once a week where your phone stays at home or is on flight mode. Go outside, walk, sit by water, wander in your street. Be with yourself, your senses, your breath. At first you might feel restless. That is quite normal. It is your saboteurs losing their favorite toy. Step 2. 1 micro adventure each week. Plan 1 micro adventure for yourself each week. It does not have to be big. Take a new way to work. Try a cafe alone with your phone, without your phone as a shield. Say yes to a local adventure you would normally say no to. Try the cold plunge if that calls you. The key is to slightly get out of your comfort zone and do it on purpose. Step 3. 1 reflection ritual. After your micro adventure, give yourself 5 minutes to reflect. You can journal or simply sit quietly. Ask yourself, what did I discover about myself today? What part of me felt alive? Which saboteur tried to talk me out of this? And what did my sage know that they did not? This reflection helps your brain update its story about who you are. This is how you move from I do not know who I am anymore, I feel stuck, to I am someone who chooses life, who takes small, brave steps, who is learning to feel wildly alive again. Let us bring this together. We have talked about an adventure mindset as a way of living, where you choose curiosity, small risks, and real-world experiences over autopilot. We have explored a bit around positive intelligence, so you can recognize your saboteurs and strengthen your sage. We have seen that action precedes confidence. confidence is the result of what you repeatedly do, not just what you know. And we have turned digital detox into a simple, practical invitation. Screen off, adventure on. If there is one thing I would love you to remember, it is this. Your life does not change when you learn another concept. It changes when what you know becomes what you do. One small adventure at a time. So here are your 3 invitations from today. Number 1, choose one tiny adventure for the next 7 days. Something that stretches you just a little. Number 2, schedule one phone-free hour outside this week. Put it in your calendar like a meeting with yourself. Number 3, start noticing your saboteurs. When you catch them, celebrate and take one grounding breath and ask, what would my sage choose in this moment? If you would like support to go deeper with this work, to weave adventure mindset and positive intelligence into your everyday life, you will find my links in the description. I share stories, tools and programs for midlife professionals who are ready for more than just fine. Whether we work together or not, my wish for you is this, that you stop waiting to feel ready, that you take one small courageous step into the real world, and that you remember how wildly alive you are capable of feeling. Thank you for spending this time with me. Now, screen off, adventure on.